From 2011 to 2018, there wasn't quite a more singularly dominant force in the NBA than LeBron James. After all, James made the NBA Finals 8 straight times despite moving from the Miami Heat to the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2014. And he won 3 championships in the process, including the most iconic 3-1 comeback in NBA history in 2016 against the Golden State Warriors. However, that apparently has not been enough for the rest of the league to fear the king, at least according to James's former Heat teammate Mario Chalmers. Chalmers revealed that nobody headed into a clash with the LeBron James-led team cowering in fear of one of the most dominant players of all time. Today's video will be about Mario Chalmers' recent hot take on LeBron and how the NBA reacted.
Nobody fears Bron. Nobody's like, damn, I gotta go play this Bron tonight. Nobody said that. I don't know why.
Right.
Because I've seen people be scared when they actually line up to him, but they're not scared thinking about that matchup.
Right.
Of course, it's hard to ascertain Mario Chalmers' claim, given how anecdotal his evidence is regarding the matter. Nevertheless, for the fans of the teams that LeBron James ran through in his 8-year reign of terror in the Eastern Conference, there was no scarier sight than a locked-in version of the NBA's all-time leading scorer. Just ask Toronto Raptor fans. But Chalmers was not yet finished making claims that could piss off LeBron. In the process of saying that nobody feared James, he also compared his former Heat teammate unfavorably towards Michael Jordan, who was arguably the 4-time NBA champion's closest competitor for the greatest of all-time title.
You hear anybody from that era talk about going against Jordan, there's a fear.
Right.
So when you have people that fear a player, then that's telling you something different already. Like, Jordan's just that guy, like, everything was, I want to be like Mike.
Right.
It's unclear if LeBron James has any bad blood with Mario Chalmers at the moment. Their relationship on the court has always been akin to that of a big brother, little brother dynamic anyway. However, statements like these surely won't do the former Heat point guard any favors. Draymond Green and Tristan Thompson would beg to differ with Chalmers. As we all know, Draymond Green picks LeBron James when it comes to the GOAT discussion. His experience always facing him in the NBA Finals during James's second stint with the Cavs is more than enough for him to have his respect. Green invited Tristan Thompson to the Draymond Green show, and both were pretty bewildered by Chalmers' statement. Thompson was especially confused when Green also wanted to remind everyone that there are many players who have feared LeBron James. Perhaps Chalmers didn't get that side of him so much because they were friends, but that killer LeBron side was definitely present. I personally know people that were scared of LeBron James. I know a bunch of people who were and are in fact terrified of LeBron James. I've seen it. At times, I've had teammates that were terrified of LeBron James, and LeBron James can always count on former teammates like Tristan Thompson to have his back. A few days after Mario Chalmers said what he said, Thompson sounded off on the controversial comments. The 11-year NBA big man was fired up and seemingly irritated by another MJ-LeBron comparison, tearing the former Miami Heat point guard to shreds in a huge rant on the Draymond Green show.
That's pissing me off, man. Like, the fact that Mario Chalmers, at one point, you were probably texting LeBron to get on the team and get a job. And I'm just assuming. I'm just saying, just because you might not have got your way, like, how could you say that about a guy that you went to war with, who believed in you, and then you're gonna come and say no one fears LeBron? Like, this is the best player you've ever been on the court with.
Clearly, Thompson is grateful for the championship he won with James on the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2016, and he thinks Chalmers should feel the same way about his 2 rings from the LeBron-era Miami Heat. It was unquestionably the peak of his NBA career. And as Thompson went on to elaborate, James was arguably at his best in South Beach as well, and was surely someone defenses had to be concerned about. Now, it should be noted that Chalmers did say he does not know why opponents did not fear LeBron James before a matchup, because they clearly did on court. This could just be a case of poor communication. No one truly knows, obviously, but Thompson did not mince words. He certainly thinks Chalmers is bitter. Perhaps these 3 champions just need to get in a room together and share old battle stories to eliminate this tension. Former 3-time NBA All-Star Gilbert Arenas addressed the take on his podcast.
Did anybody fear Magic Johnson? No. Did anybody fear John Stockton, Karl Malone? No. Right? The fear comes from what that person's capability is.
Arenas references Hall of Famers that supposedly didn't instill fear in their opponents because of their capabilities. He groups LeBron James with these players as a hooper with a skill set that is not something to fear. One thing Arenas is forgetting is that LeBron James was so dominant for the Cleveland Cavaliers that an entire city was named after him. After dominating the Toronto Raptors year after year, the matchup ushered in the nickname LeBronto anytime the two teams faced off. It is hard to believe this didn't elicit just a tad bit of fear from Raptors players. Regardless of his dominance against the Raptors, James has still won rings with two other franchises and is still vying for a ring this season at the buoyant age of 38 years old. To be able to sustain such excellence for such a long period of time, James does not have the time to consider who does or who does not fear him. One thing about media personalities, NBA media especially, they understand a hot take drives clicks. In a vacuum, the whole debate regarding fear in the NBA is sort of ridiculous. If an NBA player literally feared another player, it is unlikely they would possess the mental fortitude to make it to the NBA in the first place. For now, Gilbert Arenas and NBA media alike will continue to funnel through irrelevant takes that fans will debate until the brakes fall off. J.J. Redick also went on ESPN First Take to refute the statements from James's former Miami Heat teammate. How much pain do you think he, LeBron James, has caused other players that have lost to him in the playoffs? I have the luxury because I get to talk to some old heads on my podcast. There is some pain, some emotional pain inflicted by those losses. J.J. Redick references the amount of defeat that has come at the hands of LeBron James over his career, and the direct relation of loss to pain and pain to fear. When it comes to literal fear, to say nobody feels any against LeBron James is almost impossible. Redick's main argument is that NBA players work so hard, dedicate so much of their lives to the sport, that most don't truly fear anything because it would limit them from getting to the league. With that being said, so many have worked all their lives just to end up losing to LeBron James. If there is any sort of reservation from an NBA player against anyone, LeBron James would be the most likely culprit. Arguably one of the greatest players of all time, LeBron has single-handedly dominated entire organizations. Indeed, there's a wide variety of ways to describe the greatness of LeBron James, and to hear it from a legend like Karl Malone recently just proves the point. Although the former Utah Jazz superstar doesn't want to eat his words one day, he thinks there will never be another LeBron James. When you talk about the whole package, it's real in what he's done at 6'8". I don't like to say never, but you're not going to see LeBron James again. Like they said about Elvis when he left the building, you're not going to see more LeBrons. I'm 60, and I haven't seen anybody yet coming up who might be another one of them. Sure, Mario Chalmers might just be offering an interesting take to get his name back in the spotlight. Meanwhile, LeBron James will continue to fight for a ring amidst an unbelievable 20th season in the NBA at 38 years old. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe to our channel for more amazing NBA content. Thanks for watching.